Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Objectively Bad podcast. Once again, your boy Dan and your boy Chad. How we doing?
We're doing good. Yeah, we're doing good. I've heard you've had a little snafu, Dan.
A what now?
A little snafu.
That is the abbreviation for my favorite anime, so probably not what you're meaning.
No, you've had a little bit of an issue.
I've never heard of
a little bit of a conundrum.
Before. What?
Never heard snafu before?
Oh, I've heard it in regards to my favorite anime, but not.
I gotta look up the actual definition now because I don't know if I could. Snafu, informal, North American English. So I guess it is my slang.
I was gonna say I've never heard this in my life.
Chaotic state. An enormous amount of my time was devoted to untangling snafus.
Yeah, if you talk about snafu, I think the second link should be a Crunchyroll link to My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. At least it is on mine.
Nice. I looked up meaning, so I did.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Verb is adjective in utter confusion or chaos.
Gotcha.
And then verb to throw a situation in chaos, because it means all the same thing. You've had a bit of a chaotic moment.
Well, I mean, I
don't know if it's chaotic. I haven't heard it.
No, it wasn't. So. It's not as chaotic as you would think. For some context, a couple of months ago at this point, I had a very infamous pizza delivery scandal. I've also had another delivery scandal with my monitor, but that's a whole nother issue. I talked about it on the podcast.
Deliveries.
Deliveries fucking hate me for some reason.
Yeah.
I talked about it on the podcast. I was ordering pizza. The guy brought it to me, Uber delivery driver. It was not my order. I told him to go back and get my order. He never went back, and I didn't get my order, and I had to get refunds. That's the basic gist of it. It was more annoying than that, but that's the shish kebab. Now, what happened 2 days ago? Don't question it.
I've never heard that before, but I kind of like it.
Me neither. So 2 days ago, I ordered pizza again. This time from Pizza Hut instead of Domino's, because Domino's was the one that fucked me. So. Ordered the pizza. I haven't had any problems with Pizza Hut before. They're my guys. They give me good deals. They give me good food. They give me good shits in the morning afterwards that do not feel very nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I thought they were giving you some of that good.
Nah. So,
damn. Okay.
Order the pizza. It usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes. This one was already taking way longer, about half an hour. The delivery driver finally starts heading over to me, head downstairs, go outside, start waiting for him. First of all, kind of unrelated to the story, this delivery driver was actually, let me backtrack a bit. I originally had one delivery driver, and then he canceled when he was outside the restaurant, and it got changed to this new guy. So, already a bit of a red flag. But this new guy, he was a demon on the bike, bro. He came in speeding. I literally saw him cut across oncoming traffic and nearly get hit to get to me. So
that's dedication right there.
Yeah, I kind of respect it.
You have someone who's trying to feed you.
And
subsequently feed
not
themselves.
To spoil it, but he was dedicated. He was a goat. So he came to me, pulled out what was just very clearly not my order. It was 2 pizzas, and I'm not trying to get the Joey special. If you know, you know. So I said, "Hey man, that's not my order. My name's Dan. I think I had Chris on the receipt instead of my name. Could you go back and get my order?" And he basically said yeah, I'll go back and get it. They made the wrong order. Sorry about that. He started going back, and then he texted me when he was back at Pizza Hut saying, "Hey man, they just made the completely wrong order. They're starting your order now. I don't want you to wait for someone else. I'm gonna wait here and bring it to you." I'm like, my
absolutely goated.
Compared to the experience I had a few months ago where the guy was like, I don't know what your order is. I don't know who you are. I'm not going to go back. Dickhead. This guy was a legend. And then, because he'd already came to my apartment, the Uber app was like, your delivery driver's been waiting outside. The order's going to automatically cancel within 3 minutes if you don't collect it or whatever. But he texted me again saying, "Hey, you only have 3 minutes to collect the order. Otherwise the app is going to shut you out of our connection to each other." But he said, "Don't worry, I'm going to bring it to you anyways." So I'm like,
hell yeah,
my hero. And lo and behold, after waiting a good amount of time because they had to fucking make the entire order again, he brought it back to me. I got my order. He had a bit of an accent. I think he was Spanish or French or something. And I also had headphones in, so I couldn't fully understand what he was saying. He was basically just going over they're a pain in the ass about like not getting the order correctly, and then they had to get me your drink, which is like not frozen or some shit. I don't know. But I basically just said, my man, appreciate it. Thank you for doing this. And he only had like 100 deliveries at that point, so he was kind of a new driver. So I was like, you know what? For his hard work, for his dedication to the cause, and my tummy, let me go ahead and give him a 20% tip. Which I'm in Australia, I never tip. It's not necessary here. But I'm like, for the hard work, I gave him like thumbs up, all the praises, and an extra like $5 on top of that, because I've been through this shit before. He put in the work. He put in the work, and I respect that, because I've talked about it multiple times on the podcast. There are some delivery drivers, and like I know they're trying to just make a living, but there are some of them that are just not good at what they do, and are kind of rude, and don't put in the effort that they should. And when someone does the job well, especially when they're kind of new to doing it, massive respect. So a redemption for delivery drivers for once on the podcast. For once they're doing their job correctly. Let's go.
Big ups to this one guy.
Legend.
I work in a restaurant, so I have so much experience with delivery drivers. I have no disrespect to someone driving delivery. It's a needed profession, as Dan uses it all the time. Like, it needs to be done. God, the fucking people that you find to drive delivery. Because the thing is, you usually just like apply to DoorDash or Uber, and you're just like, I want to be a delivery driver, and they're kind of just like, okay, cool. I don't actually know the process, but like, I don't think it's like hard to become one.
There's minimal thing. You need a driver's license, and then like, hey, you're good to go, man.
You need like a car.
Yeah. Or like if you're in a city, a bike is about all you need.
Yeah. But man, the fucking so many drivers are so like, they don't give a shit. They're just the thing. But here's the deal: the more deliveries you do in like an hour, the more money you make. So if they hear they gotta go back and redo your order, that's just so much wasted time for them. And they're like, fuck this. And they don't make that much, so they're not trying to waste time.
Yeah, that's why I gave him a tip, because like I'm like, I know this is like going out of your time. It's also like, if say for example, if he had picked up the wrong order or gone the wrong way, I wouldn't consider it. But it was clearly not his fault that shit went wrong. They gave him the wrong order. They hadn't cooked mine yet. It's not his fault that his time got wasted. So, you know, give some respect back to the man. He's doing God's work.
Yeah, big ups. It's always hard when it's like, I prefer a restaurant that has their own delivery service, which is waning these days. There's not a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, well, okay, do I yell at the DoorDash driver? Do I yell at DoorDash itself? Do I yell at the restaurant? There's too many people involved.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Whereas if a restaurant has their own delivery, you call the restaurant, they sort it out, because it's probably a manager and they're, you know, the driver's underneath them. Like, they talk to the driver directly and they get it figured out. And tend to have less issues because of that. Well,
that's the issue I had with Domino's last time, is that I ordered through their app. They have their own delivery service. But when I ordered, they were like, hey, we're too busy at the moment. We're outsourcing this to some Uber Eats delivery drivers. And that's when I got fucked over. Yeah.
I've never seen that. That's interesting.
I think when you're in a big city, it happens quite often.
That makes sense.
They have to outsource it when it's busy.
Yeah, it's just interesting that that's an option.
Yeah. Again, I respect the hell out of the general profession of delivery people, the individual people, and sometimes the way they do their job. It's like with any job. If you're doing a shitty job at your job, do better.
Just do better. Look, I'm not saying you got to go out of your way and you got to work your ass off for the man, because, you know, you make $1 or they make $1, you make a dime. But like, I don't know, you're there, you might as well put some amount of effort in. Or be a decent human being. It's not like it's not like you're going down and you're like, you know, yelling at them like, you're a fucking idiot. No. And, you know, Dan's yelling slurs out here. None of that's happening.
I am, as much as it may not seem like it, when it comes to like talking to strangers and like people like doing a job for me, whether it's like a delivery person or someone at like a front desk, whatever, I am very nice. I try and be as nice as possible, very patient, very like normal.
He's just mean to me.
Yeah, exactly. But I know there are a lot of people that are not like that, so...
Those people suck.
Most people suck. So I try and do the golden rule thing. Treat others how, you know, you want to be treated. Which is something that's waning in the world, I feel.
Yeah.
A lot of people just suck.
A lot of people just suck. Well, Dan, we always appreciate a good delivery story. Yeah. We're almost hitting a point where it's just a segment of a regular segment of the podcast of Dan getting delivery. I don't ever do delivery.
I mean, it helps that you have a car.
I rarely do. I have a car, and I don't.
And you cook
I like to go to the place and pick up, and I cook a lot more.
Yeah.
This month especially, I'm like, not for any particular reason, just because I like to do it. I'm just spending like no money if I can help it outside of like groceries and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I think I'm trying to think. We got a little topic for everyone today.
We do. Yeah, but not just delivery stuff again. Although
it's not just delivery. Dan genuinely could talk about it for an entire hour.
Yeah. I could talk about things adjacent to delivery stuff for a long time. I don't know why I get screwed over so much with this stuff. Well, this time not screwed over. Well, I mean, technically screwed over, but then not screwed over. I had to wait a long time.
You got redeemed.
I got redeemed.
But also, honestly, 10 to 15 minute wait is really fucking good for food.
Yeah, it ended up being like normal 40 in the end.
That's not terrible, I don't think. Considering sometimes the food can take like 20 minutes.
It was only terrible because I was waiting downstairs outside for like 20 minutes. That's the only annoying thing about it. Although I will say, the benefit about that situation is that when the food did get to me, it was piping hot because it had just been cooked. So that was kind of good. It was a real good fresh pizza and garlic bread.
Nice. That's a little like fast food hack is if you ever want it fresh. I don't necessarily recommend doing it because look, it's fast food. You get what you get. It is what it is. But if you want it fresh for whatever reason, you just alter it a little bit in a way that they have to specialize what you have. It's like I worked at Chick-fil-A for a little bit. If you asked for your like chicken sandwich well done or like the chicken breast itself, they have to specially make that that thing well done for you, so you get it fresh. Now, when it's super busy, don't do that. Just get your fucking chicken sandwich and get out of there. Because also, if they're busy, most things are going to be fresh because they're cycling through. If they're really slow, then it's like, I mean, look, they're working a job, so I'm not like, don't make them do work, but like, don't be that fucking guy that's like, man, there's a long ass line. I'm going to get this thing well done and I'm going to get this change and this change. Just order your food and go.
Well, speaking about,
it's probably fresh because they're cycling through it.
Speaking about like the long line thing, I don't know exactly where I heard this, but I was watching a video or podcast like yesterday talking about this. One of the most annoying things, and I'm sure you've experienced this working at restaurants, and I've experienced it waiting at like restaurants, is that when you're in a long line and someone gets to the front ready to get their order and they haven't decided what they want yet, so they're going like, let me look at the menu.
Bro,
and they go like,
you had
can
10 minutes to do this.
Yeah, so you've been waiting in line. You could have, like, when I go to somewhere, like, if I'm going to somewhere that doesn't have, like, a touch screen to order, which is, like, if I'm going to a restaurant or fast food place, I usually like there to be a touch screen because it's just easier. But if you're not, on the way there, I am, like, thinking not only what I want, but how to say what I want so it's easy for the person to, like, understand what so they have to ask as little questions as possible. Whereas there'll be people that go up there and go like, I want a latte. Okay, latte with
what do you want?
What size?
What size? What's in it? What kind of milk are we talking?
Come on, man, get to it. So that's
also like, bro, it's McDonald's. This company's been the same for the most part for like 50 fucking years.
It's like you don't order the same thing.
You
every
order
time.
a burger and fries and a Coke or a Sprite.
It's easy,
like,
man.
Nothing's new here.
Yeah, I will give everyone that's watching a proper fast food like hack though. If you're ordering food, always make sure to order a minute before closing time because the food will be the best quality.
God. Oh. Oh God. Fuck you, man. I hate those people so much. They suck because you're just sitting here. You're so ready to not even leave. You're ready to start closing.
Yep.
Because it's not that you just leave after it. There's so much shit you have to clean, especially in fast food. Dude, when I was at Chick-fil-A, closing took like 2 hours. sometimes longer if we didn't have a whole lot of people. It sucked. Don't show up 5 minutes before.
No, I will say though, obviously joking. Although I have found a lot of restaurants, the actual closing time on like delivery apps is about half an hour before the actual restaurant closes.
Yeah.
So like they do have time to get the order in before they close. But I actually do have a question about that. If someone came into the restaurant 5 minutes before closing, do you think would you usually have enough food to make them something, or would you make it fresh then? Like, would it actually be better quality? Or
No,
would you
I'd usually have enough food.
Okay.
I might have been sitting there for a while, but like...
That's what I thought, yeah.
I just reheat it. It's fine.
Do you think there's an optimal time throughout like the evening to order something so it can be the best freshness?
Could be the best So that's a good question. So here's the deal. If you want it fresher, you go in, you don't get delivery. Yep. Because if you go in, like if you order it and you show up 10 minutes later, it might not be ready in 10 minutes. So if you get there before it's ready, it's going to be immediately fresh. Mm-hmm. Now, this also depends on if we're talking fast food or like fast casual. Fast casual doesn't tend to necessarily pre-make things, whereas like the place I work, nothing is pre-made necessarily. Like we're cooking. If you're buying if you're getting like a full order, it's getting made like when you send me the order. For fast food, it's a little different because a lot of times you just have like chicken sandwiches or chicken tenders or burgers just kind of ready. Mm-hmm. But I would say pick up. You're going to get it fresher because even if the delivery driver is ready, the instant it comes, like whenever it's cooked, I don't know, fryer, oven, whatever, grill. When even if the driver gets it, there's the time it takes from the driver to get from the restaurant to your house that it's not becoming fresh. Yep. Obviously, if you drive home, it's the same thing, but like you could start nibbling on it. You know, you reach into the bag, grab the fries. I would also
assume that, I don't know if this is true. I feel like if it's you driving to your own house, you're probably going to get there a little bit faster just because
you know the way.
You know the way better.
You also, a delivery driver might have 3 or 4 orders. Hell, I've taken like 5 or 6 orders in one run.
Exactly.
You might be the last guy. And so that thing might have been sitting in his car for like 30 minutes. Usually they have like a heating bag that kind of helps preserve some heat. But yeah, if you want it fresh, you go in and pick it up yourself. It's going to be quicker because you don't have to worry about a driver getting there. It's also just going to, it's just better. I almost always do pick up. I prefer it. It also usually means if I'm tipping like the people who actually made the food. Because a lot of times the drivers just take tips. And don't necessarily split. It depends on the shop, obviously, but like...
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah, go in and pick it up. I'm trying to think if there's a good time. The thing is, if you go in when they're super busy, it might take longer because your ticket is like 20 orders back or something like that.
Yep.
But you also almost don't want to go when it's super slow because they're almost out of the rhythm. Mm-hmm. It's probably not an issue, but like... almost like 8 or 9 o'clock when they're kind of like starting to slow down, they're starting to stagger, they're starting to have a point where they're like, oh, I got nothing to do, is kind of when you can throw that in. Because then they're probably going to get to it quickly, but they're still like in motion. You know, they haven't like sent a bunch of people on break, so it's like only one guy doing it or whatever. And then you pick it up and it's fresh. That's my recommendation. Fast food's a little different because they will have like pre-made stuff.
Yeah, and it's always great when you go to like McDonald's and like the fries have just been changed and you get like nice fresh ones or fresh nuggets.
That's just luck of the draw. I will say those fries don't sit very long. They maybe sit for 10 minutes, but I don't even think they sit that long. I don't know what their timers are. Yeah.
Hey, fast food tips with Chad and Dan.
Yeah,
mainly Chad.
There's your food tips.
My tip is to harass the employees by going there last minute.
Yeah, I will say I showed up to a Five Guys like months ago. I still think about this every once in a while. My throat was, I like went to see a movie. My throat was killing me. It was 9:30. They said they closed at 10. I rock up. Their open sign's still on. I'm like, perfect. Door was locked. There are 2 guys in there just cleaning. I'm not even really mad because I know that they hadn't been serving like anyone. They should have maybe closed at 9:45, not 9:30.
Yeah.
I just wanted a goddamn milkshake. I'm just mad that they didn't turn the open sign off.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's dumb.
And I know they just forgot, but I was like, guys, I've been there. I've definitely closed earlier than like our normal hours. It's because there's fucking no one here. But like, turn the sign off at the very least. Like, don't tell me that you're open and then the door was locked. Obviously, none of them made eye contact with me, which I know the gig.
Yeah,
it's whatever.
It's like, don't fucking edge me, man. What is this shit?
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough. All right,
Dan.
Let's get into the actual topic for today. So, Chad.
Sweet. So,
you have
I've
devised this one up?
Yes, I've devised a little conversation starter for the two of us, and I've titled it "The Art of the RPG." So today we're kind of gonna discuss our own opinions on the elements that make a perfect RPG. I've had a bunch of bullet points, and we're just gonna kind of go down the list. I'm trying to keep it non-genre specific because I feel like a lot of RPGs tend to be fantasy. But I'm trying to take the fantasy element out because sometimes you get a sci-fi RPG, sometimes you get a modern RPG. I mean, GTA is a modern RPG.
GTA is like the main big real world RPG. The only other ones that like had some amount of success was like Watch Dogs, which is still kind of sci-fi a little bit.
It's kind of sci-fi.
And then like Saints Row, which is like, it's like Saints Row 4 is obviously kind of fantasy because of superpowers. But yeah. So we're going to talk about, the elements. I think because I am a GTA YouTuber, I'll try and, when it makes sense to relate things to GTA 6, talk about what things could be interesting in there. But in general, just RPG. Obviously, we're both big fans of games like Skyrim. I'm a big fan of RuneScape, which is an MMORPG, but still an RPG. Same with Elder Scrolls Online, which I've been playing a lot of recently. So those conversations can also come into it. I made a similar video, not specifically about RPGs in general, but I made a second channel video talking about the 6 things that GTA 6 needs to be successful. Obviously, it was opinion-based, but it had some comments that were a little heated, saying like, "Oh, your opinion is wrong," which I'm like, okay.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an opinion. So some of those points may come up again, specifically in terms of progression, which is a big thing in RPG systems. I will definitely talk about. But yeah, let's get into the first bullet point. So, lead us, Chad.
All right. So my first one, the bullet point just is how much customization, because I'm detail oriented here. But specifically, I'm thinking character customization. Okay. So kind of, and the reason I start with this is it's the start of your story. You get the story, you customize your character. How? I'm going to start with appearance, and then we can start with like the more RPG
attributes.
Elements.
Yeah, attributes and stuff.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. We're going to start with appearance. How much customization do you like? Do you like it to be pretty rigid? Do you like it to be really flexible? Like changing colors? Like kind of what do you like?
So
what are you here for?
Personally, I feel like there are two, when it comes to character customization, there's two types of gamers. There are the gamers who like to have kind of realistic, good-looking characters, and then there's the people who make Bumblefuck
abominations.
McGee. Yeah, that's like purple and has the nose the size of Jupiter. Me personally, I am the more realistic side of things. I like the characters to fit the world, to look. I mean, I like my characters to look hot. I'll be real. I try and make them attractive.
Sure.
Whether they're male or female. And I like them to look like normal in the world. I think there's places for dumb looking characters. I know Elden Ring has a pretty funny character customization. Same with like Skate. Some other games I can't remember off the top of my head. I personally like the more realistic side of things. However, I do still think the customization level should be pretty free. With GTA 5 specifically, obviously the customization system is kind of like you have the 2 parents you can pick from. And then you pick like the skin color and resemblance from them, and then you can go down and change like brow height, chin width, hairstyles, eye color. I don't think GTA Online's character customization is bad. I do think it's a little more restrictive than I would like. I wish there was a little bit more you could do, especially when it comes to, okay, this is going to be an interesting take. In terms of like features, what is the single most important feature, do you think?
Oh, God, there's so many.
I know what mine is.
Like, they don't touch on. I mean, oftentimes hair, I feel like, is a big one.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That's my biggest gripe with GTA. There is not enough hair choices.
There's like,
if you've watched my GTA
3 good ones
series, there's like 3 that I've ever used on any of my characters, pretty much. Like my current hair, there's no hairstyle like this in the game. It just isn't. There's a hairstyle that
and
swoops
you don't
to the
have
side.
uncommon hair.
No, there's a hairstyle that swoops to the side, but it's like so. It's obviously because of the technical limitations. It's so like clean. It's like a block. It's not like individual hair follicles. It just doesn't look interesting. Also, I know the black community. There is not enough hairstyles for that community. It's like the Killmonger hair or an afro. That's kind of it for them.
Yeah,
pretty much. Or cornrows sometimes, dreads.
GTA could definitely be so much better. I mean, I think we looked at our 3 characters, like me, you, and Alon's when we do videos, and we're like, they look the same.
Yeah, I think Alon and I have the exact same hair in the video, except for color.
And I have a similar hair.
Yeah. And
like a similar haircut. I think I have my guy dad. The faces are like the same. The parent system could be interesting and like new. I think it's stupid because it takes you so much longer to get to where you want.
Yep.
I also, for some things it makes sense. I'm not a big fan of the like, they just give you 20 options and you just scroll through them. I kind of like Skyrim's.
Yes, Skyrim is
for
great.
example, you might have the nose and it'll have, like length and it's just a sliding scale and you just fuck with the sliding scale.
So you do have that on GTA Online, but it's based on the parents' appearance in the first place. Yeah. I think you get rid of that and just have the sliders. I think it's, sorry, I'm drinking Pepsi, so I'm burping all the time now. Don't know why I'm drinking Pepsi. It's actually 1 p.m. later than I thought. Getting back to
That's not bad.
I don't think it's bad to have like a selection of like default faces and then from them you can customize them. But I think if a player wants it, they should be able to fully customize from like ground up, basically. Like all the sliders you could possibly want, all the eye colors. Like this is one thing I never understand. When it comes to GTA specifically again, when you're looking at hair color and eye color, why can't they just have like the hue like map where you can pick any color in the visible spectrum? Instead of that, they have like these specific colors. So like in the game, I can't really get my character's blonde to look like my blonde because there's only the only options they have is like brown, which is not exactly what my hair looks like a ginger color, which isn't what my hair looks like, or like a brighter blonde. Like nothing is like exactly this in game, which is
they don't have dirty blonde, which I think is a fairly, at least for like white people, is a fairly common hair color.
Yeah, and then also a lot of games, I think GTA doesn't have this issue, but there's a lot of games where like you can't separate the hair color from the eyebrows and like facial hair, which like if you look at me, maybe not super obvious at the moment, but like my eyebrows and beard are darker than my hair. Usually my hair is quite dark at the moment, but like it is, my eyebrows specifically are more brown than my hair.
My hair is darker than like my mustache. Yeah. Like I think my facial hair tends to be lighter than my actual hair color.
So like that would be a nice customization to do more. Same with skin color on GTA. I know we're referring to this a lot, but the skin color is based on the parents again, not just any color you want. I think having more selection is good, but like I said, I wouldn't, with a game like GTA, maybe with fantasy, I'd be fine with any skin color, but with GTA, because it is real world, I wouldn't want your skin to be like green or purple. Yeah, I want human skin colors.
I think that's fair.
I think doing like face paint or tattoos that could take up your body would be fine. But in terms of just the pure character, not like accessories. And I think tattoos and accessories need to be more common as well. But yeah, normal skin color. I think hair color, you can do any color because you can dye it. That's realistic.
You can dye it. That's, So you want highly flexible, highly customizable, but realistic.
Yes. The way I think about it is that if I could like customize my real body to that, then I think that's normal.
If you could get there,
like I could dye my hair. If a human
could look like that, I should be able to make that.
Yeah, like you can dye your hair. You can get bigger loops in your ears. You can you can get fangs like custom made. But like I feel
like there's not enough like piercings and ear things because I don't know the last time I've seen a customization where they're like, you got big loops. Not that I was necessarily gonna do it, but it'd be kind of cool.
You could, yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 has a lot more customizations. It's still not like fully modular. Like you have like certain earring types. So you can have like multiple things in the ears and the nose. It'd be nice if you had a system where like, almost like how, I think it's Forza Horizon that has this maybe, where if you look at a car, there are like 5 different spots where you can put different decals. It'd be kind of cool if on a character, maybe you had like a nose ring slot, an earring slot, a slot on the eyebrow, and in these different slots you can pick any different type of piercing you wanted to go there. Like that would be a cool way to do it. So it's both modular, but also still kind of rigid in the way that you're not just going to put like random shit anywhere to look kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I was going to ask about like feature customization. That's hard to specify though if we haven't specified genre. Do you think or I guess I'll ask a different question. Do you think character customization should affect gameplay? For example, if you make yourself real tall, or you're hitting your head on things, or you have or like maybe your hitboxes change if you make yourself real short, or real fat, or real tall.
That's actually
is that something you'd want?
That's a brilliant question, because in GTA specifically, you can't change your height at all. It's always static. I think females are maybe on average a little shorter, and if you wear heels, they're taller, but it doesn't change much really. I know the reason why that's the case is because for like animations and stuff, it's easier to have all the characters the same height. It's a bit more difficult when they're all different. However, in Elder Scrolls Online, you can make your character different height. There can be like a massive height difference between, I think it's like the shortest, I want to say Wood Elves are like the shortest race at the bottom, and then like High Elves can be the tallest. There's like a massive height difference between them, which I like. Because I think it can help like a role play. Like I think I'm playing as like a short Khajiit woman, like an assassin. I think being like a small assassin works. Whereas if you want to be a giant Nord, almost like role playing as myself, like not as muscular,
or like an orc,
it kind of makes sense to be this like big beefy creature. Now with ESO, I don't think height really makes a difference. Maybe the hitbox, but I don't think it actually makes a difference. A game where it does is FIFA, EAFC. When you're creating a player character on like pro clubs or player career mode, if you make yourself really tall, it makes your character like much slower, but like better at jumping and stronger. Opposite if you're shorter, you're much faster. While I have many issues with that system, I think it does make sense that taller characters are maybe like a bit stronger, or shorter characters are a bit more agile. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird system to kind of get correct, because like if you do have a thing where like the short characters have a small hitbox, you start to get a meta where like every person just plays a short character. So they can't get shot as easily.
When you throw like multiplayer games into this, because then you have that where you're like, oh, I'm gonna have a shorter hitbox. I just think there needs to be another thing to it.
I think purely
like maybe your strength won't get as high, or something like that.
For like a single player, purely for role playing, I think height and weight are both things that you should be able to change 100%. Because again, if you want to role play, I like role playing as myself in games. I have like a fantasy version of my own self that I usually play. And I like to make myself tall in game. It just kind of adds up. And if I'm playing, again, like a short assassin, it makes sense to do that. And when it comes to a single player game, the hitboxes and stuff don't really matter that much, I don't think. So I think it's definitely useful. When it comes to like an online RPG, like a GTA Online, I think it would be cool to do, but the balancing on it might be difficult. So I don't know exactly how they'd go about it.
Yeah. All right. Classes or no classes? Obviously, it's dependent on like GTA. I don't know if classes would necessarily make that much sense. Although I think you could make classes.
You could definitely do. I mean, the way you do classes on GTA is that you basically, when you create a character, do you want to be a driver, a shooter, a hacker, a con man? Basically, like a heist role, basically. And I guess when you go into heist, you fulfill that role would be a way to do it. Personally, I don't hate classes, but personally, I would go without them.
Okay.
I think that comes down to I think it mainly comes down to me being a Skyrim fanboy at heart. Skyrim doesn't really do classes. Same with RuneScape, there's not classes. ESO there are, but it doesn't really make a huge difference, to be honest. I think in like a really tight role-playing game like a Baldur's Gate 3, like D&D, I think classes are really good because it's extremely structured. But in like more like an open world, like Skyrim, GTA, I just don't think it matters as much. If you want to specialize in something, specialize in it. But also, if you want to specialize in everything, fucking go for it. I think it's more fun.
Yeah. I think for a first playthrough as well, sometimes you just don't know what's good.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you go into something, you're like, oh, I have this idea. I think this will be really fun. And then you do it and you're like, fuck, this sucks. If you picked a class in advance, you're fucked. Like you're like, well, this playthrough just is gonna suck now. Or maybe you're like, oh, I really want to try the magic. You just don't like the magic system, or you get halfway through and you're like, man, I wanted to be that stealth archer because you're playing Skyrim and that's just what happens. I see. The thing is, I like the idea of classes of like kind of having the ability to railroad yourself into something, but also I think playing a video game, if you really want to do that, like Skyrim, if you really want to do that, just do it. You can level other things up, just don't. Just kind of, and that's where like the role playing aspect comes in.
I think at the minimum,
give yourself freedom. At
the minimum, if you do have a class system, you need to have a way to be able to reset or change your class on the fly if you don't like how it's going. In Baldur's Gate 3, you can change your class for like 200 gold, and I think that's a good system. So like, if you do get bored of something or you do want to switch it up, you can switch it up. But yeah, personally, I would go without classes,
Okay. So when you're playing an RPG game, this is going to be kind of a bit of a sliding scale because I don't think you'll be one end or the other. But are you more worried about the gameplay or the story? Where do you kind of fall on that line?
Oh, that's like I thought I had an answer, but after 0.5 seconds of thought, I don't know anymore. So, but both are important to me.
Sure.
In terms of, I don't know actually. So I'll explain why I'm struggling to think of this. When I think of Skyrim, we all know the main story is kind of just like okay. It's whatever. What makes Skyrim for me is the immersion, the fun of the gameplay, and like the side quests, which you could call story, but I could also play Skyrim.
I'm gonna say side quest counts as story. Okay. I don't necessarily mean main story. I just mean like the storytelling aspect.
Yeah, but then again, I could play Skyrim for 10 hours and not do a single quest. I could just go in caves and like wander around as well. So that means the gameplay is very important. But then I play Elder Scrolls Online, which the gameplay, the combat, I don't care for that much. It's fine. But it's kind of just a means to an end for me. The thing I love about ESO so much is the story. I think the story in that game is incredibly well done. I'm so interested in the lore and how your character develops in this world. Then again, in GTA, the online story kind of is like, it is obviously there, but it's not important at all. Like you play GTA for the fun driving and the interesting heists. You don't play it for the story. So I don't know if that means that they're both equally important or neither matter depending on what type of game it is.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad answer. I guess really is, do you think you lean one way or the other? Or is it really just like, if you make something good, it's good, whether it's a good story or good gameplay? I'm
kind of leaning towards that answer, I think.
Okay.
Because depending on how you want to interact with the game, different things matter differently. Like if you're personally going into a game because you want a fun story, the gameplay is not going to matter as much to you. As long as it's good enough to not be like aggravating, then you're not going to care. Whereas if you're playing a game because you want to have a fun experience playing the game, you don't care about the story as much. Like I know, like I've talked about RuneScape before, my favorite game. It is so common in RuneScape to just skip all of the dialogue. There are so many people that have been playing for 20 years that have not read a single quest. They just skip past everything because they enjoy the gameplay side of it. So I think it honestly might be more down to the individual and what you're looking for in each individual game. There are some games I want a good story. There's some games where I want fun gameplay. So I don't know. I'd say, I guess that means they're equal. It just depends on the situation.
Sure.
Which is
you almost lean, you kind of almost want one or the other.
I mean, if there's both, that's great.
Well, yeah.
But it's not necessary for me to have a good time, I don't think.
I will say for replayability, I almost think gameplay becomes more important.
That's what I was going to say as well.
Because like you could have a favorite movie, but you can only watch it so many times with a gap in between.
Yeah.
Same with a game. I've put so many hours into Skyrim, and if you put mods on it, I can go back to it. I can't really go back to Skyrim anymore. I've played it so much. I know every single quest. And I like the gameplay. I don't think it's the most robust or unique gameplay, but like it does it. But there hits a certain point where like I can only play it. I love Uncharted. I don't play it that often because it's a story game. And once you, I mean, the gameplay is fun, but once you see the story, you're like, well, I just did that. So I got to give myself a bunch of time and then replay it. All right. Are we a main story guy or a main quest or side quest kind of guy? Presuming both are good. Obviously, our biggest thing that we always go back to is Skyrim, where the main story is not as interesting as side quests. But there's plenty of other things. Like the Legend of Zelda games are good kind of RPGs. They're kind of RPGs.
Yeah, I mean, like, you talk about GTA 5, the main story is the most interesting thing. The side quests are, like, not... Some of them are fun, but, like, they're not what you're there for. I want to say it depends again.
Sure. Presume they're both good.
Presume they're both good. I think probably the main story, just about.
Okay.
I don't know. I think to me, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to decide. Because on one hand, the main story is usually like a very long through line narrative with the characters you've like, you get this like big finale. But then there's some side quests can be like 20 minutes, but it's the most like funny little stupid thing you've ever seen, and it's just so entertaining.
Yeah.
Like in RuneScape, there's kind of a main story, but like there's a random side quests where like there was one that got introduced to the game like a year ago, where all you're doing is stopping a civil war between a gardener and frogs that live near his land. and you're talking to the frogs, and you have to elect a new frog leader, and to decide the new frog leader they have to see how far they can jump into a pond, but you need to sabotage one of them because one of the frogs is evil. So to sabotage the frog, you like mess with the lily pad he's gonna jump on so he drowns, and it's just like, this is such a stupid little story, and it's so funny, but it has like nothing to do with like the main story of it. Same with Skyrim. Like, some of my favorite quests in Skyrim are like the fun little one-off side quests. Like, maybe the most memorable side quest in Skyrim is the one where Sam Guinevere, who's one of the Daedric princes, gets drunk with you. You wake up and have to... It's basically the Hangover, and you have to...
Yeah, it's basically the Hangover.
Figure out what happened in the night when you were like drunk as fuck. Like, that's a great little side quest. It was so difficult, man. I think I'm leaning towards main story because like nothing is better than just like this great big plot, this perfect story that's been laid out in completing it. But I love a little side quest.
I think it's a cop-out answer, but obviously both. You need the main quest. If you don't have a main story, I don't know if you can have a game where it's just side quests.
Yeah.
I'm probably wrong, and there's probably a good game out there where it's like there's not really a main story. I don't know about RPGs though. I feel like RPGs, there has to be an overarching story. But I think it's difficult to have an RPG specifically that doesn't have side quests. You take a game like an Uncharted, like a Last of Us, there's no side quest. You're just playing the game. It's very linear. It's also not an RPG. But that works. But I think for the sake of role playing, if you're just doing one quest line, you're not really role playing outside of maybe if your combat style changes up.
Yeah.
Like if you choose to use a magic versus a sword, or if it's a modern thing, like a GTA, like how are you going about the heist?
Yeah, no, you make a good point.
What
because
cars
like,
you're using.
A big thing about role playing is like making choices that your character would or wouldn't choose. Like in GTA, the story mode doesn't have that many roleplay decisions, but like you can choose to do certain side quests. At the very end of the game, you have that 3 choice to kill Michael, kill Trevor, or save everyone. In Skyrim, you choose whether to help the Imperials or Stormcloaks, join the Mages College or the Thieves Guild. Those are all role-playing choices. If you only have that one linear story, you're not role-playing, you're just playing as the character.
You're just playing a game.
I think the story.
For role-playing, you need a main story because you do need something driving the whole thing. But for the actual role-playing aspect, the side quests are almost more important because it's hard to have a main storyline that you make different decisions that affect different things. A lot of times a Telltale game will do that.
Yeah.
But those are less gameplay heavy or RPG heavy, that's really just it's a Telltale game, and that's
it's just a pick your own adventure book with video.
And yeah, in Skyrim, at the end of the day, you beat Alduin. It doesn't really matter all the stuff you do around it. You don't really have. I'm trying to think if there are like any choices within the main storyline.
You can choose to kill Parthenax or not.
But even that, I don't know how much. Trying to think. No, yeah, I guess that would be in between. I'm trying to think if that's a side quest for the blades or not.
I think it kind of is, but it's
I think you can go back and kill them.
It's very related to the main story. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's otherwise like you basically don't make decisions. Obviously, there are other RPGs where you can make decisions.
Yeah, like I think
the main story.
Baldur's Gate 3 is the best example of like the main story does have a lot of different ways you can go about it. But Baldur's Gate is also a generational game that multiple developers have come out and said like, don't expect this from us because it's not possible by normal people.
Yeah,
it's like Baldur's Gate 3 is
incredibly difficult.
I saw in a bit of a side tangent. I saw an argument here saying that like, if Baldur's Gate 3 came out during the year of Elden Ring would still win. I'm like, no, it fucking wouldn't. What are you talking about?
I don't think it would. Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible.
Literally the leader of multiple development studios came out and said, please do not expect this level of quality from us. It's too much. Like, that's not normal, bro. Baldur's Gate 3 is like, it's one of the most, like, technically and story, like, most impressive games ever. Like, there is just a ridiculous amount of choices you can make, both in the main story and the side quests. You can end the game in multiple different ways with multiple different characters on your side. The amount of different endings you can get, even depending on what character you choose to like play the game with, whether it's your own personal character or one of the like origin characters, it's obscene. But yeah, most RPGs do not have that level of depth and detail, and it's kind of impossible to. So yeah, those side quests do actually make up a lot of what makes the role-playing aspect of the game.
So I think that's kind of our analysis of that. Do you like guidance markers, or do you want to just be told? Do you kind of know what I mean by that?
Yeah, so basically when you're doing quests, do you want to be guided on a path to do everything, or do you want to figure it out for yourself, roughly?
Yeah, like in Skyrim, it always just tells you where everything is. Where in older Elder Scrolls games, you'll get a piece of dialogue that's like, go to this city and find this guy. And that's all you're given. Like, a lot of times, you have to figure out yourself how to go to the city if you haven't already been there. And then you got to roam around the city and find, like, the particular tavern they're talking about. And then roam around until you find that guy. And it's like, if you stop paying attention, all of a sudden you're like,
fuck, what do I do?
Wait, shit, what do I have to do? I've been doing that in Pokemon lately. I'm playing Emerald right now, and there's a lot of Pokemon tends to be linear, but like I'm at a point where there's multiple directions you can go, and I'm kind of not really paying that much attention because it's Pokemon and I don't really need to pay that much attention to the dialogue. And then every once in a while I'm like, fuck, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know where I'm going. So through all that, what is your preference?
Well, it's a very interesting conversation in regards to RuneScape again. So in RuneScape, the quests, there is very, very minimal actual like guidance. Like there's no markers on the minimap or waypoint. You'll get a piece of text in your in your journal saying like, go speak to this person, but it doesn't tell you where they are. Maybe it'll tell you the town, but that's about it. And the RuneScape quests are so notoriously difficult to figure out that almost every single player uses a plugin called Quest Helper, which tells you exactly where to go every time, tells you exactly which dialogue option to hit, and speaking to every NPC so you get the correct outcome, tells you all the items you need to complete the quest before you even start it, because otherwise it's too much of a fucking hassle. There's actually a YouTuber called Alien Food who has a series on YouTube right now called Unguided, and his whole entire thing is doing all the quests in RuneScape without the use of guides. And there are generally quests that would take a normal person like 10 minutes with this helper that he spends multiple hours or days trying to finish.
Damn.
Because they are so like weirdly convoluted and complicated. I don't know what that says about if having markers is good or not. I think again, it depends on how you want to interact with the game. If you want an extremely, extremely immersive experience, then having no markers is great.
Yeah.
I think for the average casual person, they want some amount of help so they're not just aimlessly wandering around for hours doing nothing, especially in an open world game where there's like so many different places you can go. If it's more linear, then it's a bit easier to not really give guidance, but for a big map, you kind of need a bit of help, I'd say. I think at least having the option there is nice. I think it'd be good if that in any game you have the option to turn off the markers if you wanted to. Like, that'd be nice.
I agree. I honestly, that is probably the best solution of like, have the markers and then be able to take them away. I will say a lot of times I play relatively casually and I don't mind the like, oh yes, it's pointing me in the right direction. Awesome. Every once in a while, there might be a quest where I'm like, it's like, go find this thing in a room. And it's like, well, it kind of told me where it was. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't. So for some aspect of the role playing, but you could also throw in the fact of like, okay, maybe you don't have a quest marker. You're a character that's been in this land for their entire life. I have not seen this map before.
Yep.
But my character would know where to go, but I personally don't know where to go. So the quest markers almost kind of make up for that fact, and to some degree could help the role-playing process.
Yeah, that does make sense. One thing I always like to do when I was playing Skyrim is, specifically with mods, you can do this, is like, you'd still have the journal telling you steps, and if you go onto the actual map, you still see markers, but just have your HUD off so you don't have the marker constantly telling you exactly where to walk. So if you need to check where you actually need to go, you can click on the map, but for the most part, when you're in the world playing, you're not seeing it, so it's not really obtrusive, I guess. Almost like when you go somewhere in real life, you check your map, so you don't have a marker. Yeah. Like if I'm going to the dentist office, I don't have a marker where it is. I mean, I kind of do because I know exactly where it is. It's like that direction from me right now. I can get there. But you're not constantly. But that's because you know it, not because there's something in your peripheral pointing. If I was going somewhere that I didn't know, I'd have to check the map, then start to go there, which is a pretty normal thing to do.
Yeah, it also depends on how easy the game itself makes it. Because like you said, RuneScape makes it really complicated. So a bunch of people add a mod. If the game doesn't give you markers, but let's say you're mostly going in between towns, kind of like a Skyrim, and you have a map and you can follow roads and the roads have occasional signs. If that aspect makes it like easy enough to figure it out, then it's not an issue. But sometimes, like you said, you have this massive open world and it's just difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to be pointing in the right direction.
There's also a thing with like, this is more so guidance in terms of like, when you're speaking to NPCs, sometimes there'll be decisions in games where like there'll be a choice between two dialogue options and they'll have vastly different outcomes depending on what you say. If you haven't been paying attention, you may click something and it fucks up your playthrough. Well, that can happen. That's why in RuneScape you have the fucking helper, because sometimes you can fuck up a quest in a way you didn't want to. Same with Skyrim as well. So that can be helpful there as well to like get some help on that if you want it. But if you don't, then I guess turn that option off. It's useful to have that for people who want to, because I know a lot of people want to do, like say you have a game like Baldur's Gate 3, you can play evil, you can play good, you can play in the gray in between. I like playing good most of the time, so if I'm clicking an option that's like an evil option, I kind of like to know that I'm not going to just kill the person in front of me by accident. That can be helpful to have some guidance on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. Kind of a mixture. It also, like you said, some people are going to want to play, super role play, and some people are just trying to kind of play more casually.
Yeah.
So it's good to have in between.
I don't like GTA has this issue. It's not something I think about often because I'm just playing for content, trying to get it through easily, but GTA does have the issue that it just always tells you what to do and there's no way to turn it off.
Yeah.
Like you can turn
off it's nice on a big map, but
you turn off your mini map, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking through my notes here. This is probably a quick one. Do you like weapon damage, or do you like when you get a weapon it just never breaks?
It's like durability, you mean?
Yeah.
I like it when it never breaks, to be honest.
I agree. I really like the. I'm gonna say the Zelda games. I've only played the last two. I know I'm bad. Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. They're great. I enjoy the game a lot. You're constantly picking up a new weapon. Obviously, at some point you get the Master Sword, and it breaks, but then it just regenerates. It's annoying when you're like, man, I found this sick ass sword. Anyways, it's going to break at some point. And I'm like, I know you can repair it, but repairing in that game isn't necessarily that like easy or convenient.
Yeah, I think with some weapons, it can be nice. Like, again, I'm going to bring up RuneScape again. Usually, so like, there's different tiers of weapons. It goes from like tier 1 to tier like 90. It's like every 10 levels would be like a tier 10 weapon, a tier 20 weapon. Yeah. Usually all weapons up to like tier 60 are unbreakable. Then once you hit tier 70, some of them become slowly breakable. But like in RuneScape, it takes fucking ages to break them. So like there's like Barrow's armor and weapons that like over the course of thousands of kills of different enemies, they will slowly degrade and then get to a broken state. But at any point throughout that degradation, you can go to a guy and he'll fix it up for you for like a certain amount of money. Yeah. But it's only for specific like armor or weapons that are like special. So I think doing it in that sense could be fine. Like if you find a really powerful sword, maybe it degrades, but you can heal it. But not every single weapon or armor piece in the game. That's just exhausting.
Yeah.
Same with like...
I agree. Same with Breath of the Wild, some of those things break after like 3 hits. Usually that's the really bad, like you hit them with a stick. But you're almost just constantly collecting and subsequently hoarding items.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
Because of it.
And then in a game like GTA, it wouldn't make sense with guns or cars. I mean, cars, yes, but you just repair them. With guns, it wouldn't really make sense.
It's also, I mean, cars are so unrealistic in that game in the sense of you're flying off mountains and tumbling everywhere.
Yeah.
I guess technically cars break and you order a new one, but like some games it would work. So like Fallout, I feel like it makes a lot of sense because like you're in this radioactive wasteland and a lot of these things are kind of makeshift. It kind of makes sense that things are breaking.
Yeah.
But like for GTA, it doesn't really make sense because I think it takes you out of the experience.
I think
it also just, I don't know, there's unrealistic things about that game that if you try to put that realism in, I think it takes away from it.
I think that point, and there's a lot of other stuff that comes into this conversation under the topic of like friction in gaming. I think that's something that developers have to balance really well. If there's too much friction in gaming, then people just don't want to play your game because it's too much of a fucking pain. If your weapon's breaking every 3 hits and your stamina's always at 0, it's like just too much of a pain to play. But if there's too little friction...
you have to enjoy it.
Yeah, but if there's too little friction in the game, then everything's just like way too easy. And it's just kind of not rewarding or fun.
Yeah. Or for the sake of role-playing, some people like the friction because they're like, well, I'm role-playing something that's difficult, so I want it to be difficult. But again, if you put too much friction, you're like, well, okay, I understand it's realistic, but this fucking sucks, and I don't want to play.
Yeah.
Like the games are to be enjoyed. People enjoy different things. So obviously there are people who don't like Dark Souls because it's too hard. That's fine. Some people want to play a game casually, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's not so much friction in Dark Souls that no one's going to play them.
Exactly.
They're critically acclaimed. A lot of people still play them. Elden Ring was, best game of like, what, 2023? 2022?
Two, I think.
So like even with difficulty, it's still going to work. But yeah, I think that's a big aspect in making an RPG is how like the balance between friction and realism of like, depending on the game, it just might not be that realistic. It's just a scale
of like 0 friction to 100 friction. Just like a game like Dark Souls maybe on like 80%. There's a lot of friction in the game. There's a lot of difficulty to beat the bosses. And then like, I don't know, fucking Minecraft or Mario Kart might be quite low just because there's not much to it. But it's also like the friction. And I guess we can move on to a point about like progression in gaming as well. Well, I guess it's even like fast travel. Fast travel is a system that can infringe on the friction of a game. If fast travel if there's no fast travel in a game and you have a massive fucking map, then it gets kind of annoying if one quest sends you from one side to the other and then back again, and there's no fast travel. That's kind of just annoying for a lot of players. However, if you can fast travel anywhere at any point for no cost, then the whole entire aspect of like enjoying the map and the game space completely fades away. I think my favorite fast travel system in gaming is from The Witcher, where you have to go to, there's like certain like signposts that are usually outside like towns or settlements, and you have to go to a signpost to then teleport to another one. I think you maybe can teleport anywhere to a signpost, but you're always going to like a specific point. You're not just teleporting to a random fucking cave or shrine in the middle of nowhere, which is what Skyrim does, which I think is a bit too easy. Elder Scrolls Online has kind of a similar system where there are way shrines around the map, usually like 5 or 6 per region, that you can teleport to. You can teleport to them from anywhere, but if you're, say, in the wilderness, it will cost you like 90 gold to go there. And if you do it again, it will cost you 300 gold because there's a cooldown between being able to do it. But if you go to a shrine, you can do it for free. And I think that's a good system as well. So that's something you have to do. GTA kind of has fast travel with the mansions that got added. You can travel to any of your businesses for free from inside your mansion. You can also set your spawn point to your different businesses and switch session, and you'll be switched to whatever business you sent your spawn point as. So that's a big thing. And then, the weapon damage we talked about. I think there's also a lot of talk about friction when it comes to like earning the game's currency, leveling up your character, how easy or difficult that is compared to, how easy you think it should be. It's like, in GTA, before the auto shop was added, which is the business that lets you customize your car to however you want without having the requirements. To get like the chrome paint job on any vehicle, you had to win like 50 races in that car. That was like the requirement, which no one's doing anymore, and it's just a big pain in the ass. So the fact that that's not a problem anymore,
that availability, and I've had GTA for probably a decade at this point,
and it's per vehicle as well. 50 wins in a race per vehicle to get chrome on it. It's crazy.
I probably have like 10 wins, period.
Yeah.
I don't do that many races, but like a lot. And the thing is, second place isn't a win. Like, that doesn't get you anywhere. It's not like getting a certain amount of points in races and maybe, first, second, third, fourth gets you some amount of points. It's straight up podiums.
Yep. Which is tough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And also just very time consuming. If I'm good at racing, it take me fucking ages to do that. So that's a big thing. Do we want to talk about progression for a bit?
Sure.
Because this is a topic.
I think that could be kind of our final point.
This is a topic I am very passionate about, and I've talked about at length multiple times. So, when it comes to an RPG, I guess we can talk about like online MMORPGs, because that's kind of what GTA 6, GTA Online kind of is a little bit as well.
Yeah.
How do you feel about a general progression of like your character, what you can buy with your character, assets, being able to do more difficult content? Because there are kind of two sides to it. There is the more sandboxy game where you can kind of just do anything whenever you want. And then there's the more like narrative or like locked progression where you need to complete this thing to unlock this thing to unlock this thing. What do you think? How do you like, what's the balance do you think that you like between those two systems?
I tend to prefer when something feels earned. I think it could range in how easy it is to earn something depending on, I guess, how casual the game you're playing. Unless the game is specifically like a sandbox, like if you were playing Minecraft creative mode or something like that, it's fine. But for a normal RPG, I feel it should be earned. I think it's the question of how quickly you earn it. Like, I think GTA takes so much fucking grinding that is not as interesting as it should be in order to get things outside of just buying shark cards.
Yep. The thing I would say about, I'm going to talk about GTA in this instance. My issue with the GTA grinding to get things, say you want to unlock Kaya Perico. It's $2 million to buy the Kasatka, which is like the best money maker in the game. So it takes like, at optimal speed running, it takes about 6-7 hours to get there. I've done it multiple times. So the problem is, and this is my take, the problem is the grind to get there feels long and sluggish because you don't have a great moneymaker. But as soon as you get there, you now have the best moneymaker in the entire game. So there's no point doing anything else ever.
Yeah.
So there's a weird balance in GTA that I think they've got very wrong, where it's really slow to make money and then it's really quick. But even when it's really quick, it's still like things are still expensive and there's still a lot to buy. But that's kind of the progression. Whereas, personally, I think it would feel a lot more rewarding to play and to buy these endgame things if the content leading up to it felt rewarding and fun to play.
Yeah, I think it's more of a balancing issue than it is a progression issue in GTA because, like you said, Cayo Perico is the best way to do it. But if you're playing an RPG, or if you're role-playing in this sense, maybe you're sitting here and you're going, oh, well, I want my guy to be like a drug runner, but he's the best drug runner in all of Los Santos.
Yep.
That business doesn't make a whole lot of money.
Yep.
But if you're like, I want to repeatedly rob the same guy all of the time, which is not an interesting role-playing choice.
No.
Or really that realistic. It takes you out of the role-playing because you go, well, in order to do all the things that I want to do, I just have to do the thing that makes the most money. Obviously, there are things even in role-playing where you're like, okay, you know, a diamond heist is going to make more money than selling some weed on the side.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Like, there's always going to be, in any game, there's always going to be the most efficient thing to do. Like, you can't get away from that. But the gap between the most efficient thing... Yeah, they need to be interesting, but the gap between the most efficient thing and the next most efficient thing and the next most efficient thing are too big in GTA. Like, you go, Cayo Perico is like the, like pound for pound the best moneymaker in the game. Then you have something like the Contract, which is a bit better, which is a little bit worse pay, but you can do more consistently because it's not as big of a cooldown. Then you have the stuff like the Clockenbell Farm Raid and the new Abby Schwartzman missions, which are also really good early game money makers. And then you have obviously the passive stuff that makes money in the background. But you have like that stuff up there. Then you have like the vehicle cargo selling missions that were introduced into the game like 10 years ago. They haven't been updated in 10 years. They are useless.
Not at all.
Absolutely useless to do. And because you can unlock Cayo Perico at the same point in your account as you can unlock them, there's no point ever unlocking them. You just go to Cayo Perico straight away because you're going to make more money. So what I've sort of said multiple times is I think there should be multiple different routes of doing criminal stuff to unlock those big heists. I personally see it as heists should be the peak of a criminal, like of a criminal's like career.
Yeah.
And I think you should have to earn the ability to do the Diamond Casino heist, the Doomsday heist, the Cayo Perico heist. They shouldn't be able to be done straight away at level 1 or level 5 or whatever. So like, I responded to a comment on my video, and this was a rough guideline I gave to being able to do the Doomsday heist. And I'm not wanting GTA to be like RuneScape. I don't think it should take you 50 hours to be able to do the Cayo Perico heist. But I do think you shouldn't be able to do it instantly. Because also narratively, it doesn't make sense that someone fresh off the boat is coming in and pulling off the world's greatest heist on some billionaire. Like, that's just not happening. So, at least for the Doomsday heist, this was like kind of a rough thing I gave. So first of all, you need to get to level 15 in the game. You can do that by doing anything. Once you get to level 15, you're allowed to purchase the heist room in one of your apartments, and you can do the prison break heist. From doing the prison break heist, you make a connection with Agent 14, who is the guy that sells you the facility for the Doomsday heist. Well, I think he sells you the bunker. Well, sorry. You get access to Lester, and Lester is the person who introduced you to the whole heist world with like the Doomsday heist and such. So once you do that, you can purchase the facility, but before you actually do the heist, you also need to do the Agent ULP missions. Now, I don't know if you remember, but Agent ULP is one of the people you like rescue in like Act 2 of the Doomsday heist. from like that indoor facility. There's that mission where 2 people go inside and 2 people stay out on like the oil tanker and protect. You're rescuing Agent ULP there. So it would make sense if you did these Agent ULP missions. They were introduced after, but it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
In that period, so you become familiar with that character. So then narratively, it would kind of make sense that he would be willing to trust you in that mission. Then once you do those, you can do the heist. So it's like a 5-step process. It means those Agent ULP missions are something that don't just get passed over for no reason. It lets you get to level 15 first. So you're at least a bit more familiar with the world. And narratively, you're a criminal that's like building up his reputation. You do the prison break heist. So Lester knows you. So he's willing to let you on to do the Doomsday heist. And then you do it. I think it's a short bit of progression that makes a lot more sense. You can do a similar thing with the Diamond Casino heist. Like, you know the stats in GTA, how you have like strength, stealth, driving, flying, and stuff. Those don't mean anything for the most part.
They don't mean anything.
It makes your shooting better, makes your driving a bit better, but they have no implication on the story. It would make a lot of sense if to do the silent and sneaky Diamond Casino approach, like the one we did in our video, you need to get your stealth to level 6 out of 10 first, because if your stealth was level 1, you wouldn't be good enough to do that heist. I just think small adjustments like that would, first of all, not make everyone rush for the best moneymaker as soon as you start an account, but also narratively make more sense in terms of progression, because it is role-playing. It doesn't make sense that as a role-playing character, you get trusted on saving the world as soon as you spawn in Los Santos.
Yeah.
It's a bit ridiculous.
And the thing is, if you're kind of imitating like the rich lifestyle of LA, it's maybe obviously money comes into it, but it's also the connections that you have.
Exactly.
So the progression is about making the connections, because you shouldn't know the guy who sets you up on the Cayo Perico heist immediately. It's almost you should take place in someone else's heist first.
Yes.
Lester kind of hears about you, knows you, and then you want to take on your first heist, and Lester's like, I've worked with you before. Let's do this. You run the heist. I'm with you. And then you keep kind of building people up. And it's not that you have to do each thing linearly.
No.
Like you could have some heists. Maybe you have an introduction heist, or there's 3 introduction heists. You do one of them. And then there's kind of 3 mid-tier heists. You have to do one of them. And then from there, it branches out.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So like, for example, you could have a section on like the start menu of GTA where it has there's a career progress section of GTA where it says like, do these tier 1 challenges for this business, do tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. You could have that for the heist. So say, for example, you have the Cayo Perico heist as one set of things you need to do to be able to play it. Doomsday heist has its own set. They're mutually exclusive from each other. So for the Diamond Casino, like I said, get your stealth up, meet Lester, do the one of the prison break heists or whatever. And then you have to buy an arcade, maybe do some missions for someone else. I don't fucking know. The Doomsday heist could be the thing I just explained. Cayo Perico, the person who sets you up to do the heist is Miguel Madrazo, who is the son of Martin Madrazo, who is in story mode and also has his own missions. Do the missions for Martin Madrazo first, then he introduces you to his son, and then his son can help you do the Cayo Perico heist. That makes sense. And also, someone added, the person who commented on the video, basically said like, oh, how do you expect people how do you expect a new player to join the game 9 years in the future? Do you expect them to do all the content before they can play the new DLC? No. What you do is that when a new DLC comes out, the content in that DLC is mutually exclusive to all the other stuff in the game. You start this new DLC, you get introduced to a new character, and that new character builds you up to be doing the top stuff in that DLC. It's all exclusive. It's the same way that Elder Scrolls Online works. Each new region is like a fresh start. It's still connected, but it's like you can start it from level 1, but everything within that region is exclusive to itself. So it's not like weirdly narratively like off or whatever.
Yeah. I also think you could have it where you can join any heist as just like a partner.
I agree.
But the person actually running the heist, making the most money from it, needs to go through these steps. So as if you join 9 years later, you go, man, I have nothing. I'm just going to be a pawn or a player in one of the heists. But then as you start building up your cash flow, you start getting to learn everything. You start going, all right, I'm going to lead a heist.
Yeah, because like you can narratively explain, hey, me, Dan, has got to the point in my account where I can play the Kai Perico heist, and in the game, oh, my character knows Chad. I'm going to get him to help me. And even though he doesn't have those requirements, Lester or Miguel Madrazo or Pavel trust me to pick my crew, and Chad's a part of my crew, so he can come help with the heist, get the money, and that can help him start his criminal journey. I just think I completely understand that a lot of people just want the freedom to do whatever they want. But as someone who has a lot of hours in the game and makes content on it, it gets very boring when you... Because people talk about... I think someone also commented on my video saying that if people want to role play and do these things in narrative order, they can do it. The thing is, there's this weird concept that when there's an optimal way to do something, you're almost always just going to do it. Even if it's not the most fun thing to do, you're just going to do it because time is money, time is precious. You don't want to waste time doing the slow thing. So a lot of people, even if they're not forced to do it, they will find the most efficient thing to do. Why do you think there's so many guides on YouTube telling you how to make the most money or how to unlock this gun the fastest? People just want to be efficient. It's natural. It's in human nature.
Yeah, I'm kind of finding that, like, playing Pokemon, on my first run-throughs of a lot of these games, I'm going through it and I'm like, what's just the best ones to go with? Like, I'm playing Emerald. I picked Mudkip. He's, like, by far the best starter in that game. Yep. Maybe even generally. I'm picking all the good ones. I'm going with Breloom. Like, I'm going with Gardevoir. Like, I'm picking all these, like, really good ones. Earlier when I played Black and White, I played it a couple times. So the second time, I'm like, I'm going to pick different people. And I got a different experience out of it. I had 2 bug-type Pokemons, and I actually had, like, a really good time with it because I was kind of learning, like, I never use bug moves. It helps me learn the chart because now I'm like, oh, bug is good against Psychic and Dark. Oh, the Elite Four is heavily Psychic and Dark. You get, like, this new experience, and that's where the art, like, the role-playing comes in. And how it comes to GTA. Everyone plays the same in GTA for the most part because there's only one really good way to play. And sometimes that's fine. But for the sake of, like, replaying a game and getting more experience out of it,
it's just not as interesting.
It's fun to have different things to do. In Skyrim, you can go just fully as, like, an attacker. You can go as a mage. You can go as a thief. These different aspects make it interesting. You can make it replayable.
You can play as a pacifist in Skyrim and never actually hit an enemy. Just use summons and companions. Like, like the reason why RuneScape has been so successful is because there's so many different ways to play the game. There are people on RuneScape who never fight at all. They just do skills. They just, like, catch fish and have a good time. There's people that only PvP and make money that way. There's people that only PvM against monsters. There's people that restrict themselves to one area of the map and only play there for thousands of hours because restricting yourself can have more creative solutions to problems. And GTA just doesn't... Obviously, you can do things like I've done challenges before where I'm not allowed to use snacks and armor, where I can't use armored vehicles or use the mini-map. But restrictions like that are incredibly self-imposed to the point where it's so easy just to be like, nah, fuck this. I'm going to just go do the efficient thing again.
Yeah. The average person wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
The average person would play a mage one game and then restart and play a stealth archer. That, because those are options laid out to you by the game. You choosing to not use any armor or not use any snacks or only use a pistol or only use a melee weapon. Sure, it's technically possible, but at no point does the game kind of show you that option of, like, this could be a fun way to play.
Like, I'm only doing it because I'm making a video. I'm not doing it because I'm having as much fun that way. Like, it'd be so cool in GTA if, like, and I'm not saying I'd want this system, but, like, it could be interesting if that you specialize in a weapon type so that you are much better with snipers than you are with regular guns, or you're much better close range with pistols than something else, or you're much better at driving bikes than cars. So you get some bonuses in that.
Or you're like a demolitions expert and you're like, all the explosives are like your forte and you're really accurate with those.
More
but you're
powerful.
Like, all right with a pistol. Yeah.
I think it comes down to, it's kind of like that friction thing again. I think GTA needs a little bit more friction when it comes to choosing which way your character can go at the start. Because otherwise you just instantly go to the easiest thing, most efficient thing straight away. And I think this may be a solution to kind of mix this with how GTA currently is. obviously on each account you can have 2 characters. That's how GTA works. I know Elder Scrolls Online you can have like fucking 50, but let's say you can have multiple characters on the same account. So your first character, you have to do everything in that way that I kind of laid out. Get to level 15, do those missions, meet Lester, then do the Doomsday Heist. You have to do that progression system. And it's not going to be for every single piece of content, but I think at least for like the big heists, it kind of makes sense to have a path to go down. If you're just doing like random missions, or you want to buy an acid lab or buy a bunker, maybe you can do that stuff randomly. But at least the heists, I think it kind of makes sense because they're kind of like the end game content. But what you can do is that once you complete all that content on your main character, on your secondary character, you don't have those restrictions anymore because the game knows you've already done it. So it's not going to restrict you in the same way. But I think at least for a
kind of like a weird new game plus.
Exactly. But I think at least for a first time playthrough, it would make more sense to get also it's just one of those things like it would instantly revive so much dead content that people don't play anymore because it's not efficient. Like no one uses the fucking vehicle warehouse, or no one plays the old contact missions that people used to play. But having these systems,
not a lot of people even do like the prison break.
Exactly.
Like, they're just better heists out there.
But if it was a necessary thing to do, people would do it more often. And obviously there's an argument that the prison break heist and the old heists in general rely on having good teammates, which are hard to come by in GTA, but that's a whole separate issue Rockstar need to fix, I think.
But I think if they kind of made it a lot more lucrative to do, there would be people who would be better teammates.
Yeah, like occasionally they put the
or
old
more
heists,
people would just play.
Occasionally they put the old heists on like double or triple money, and people do play them, but they're just not fucking worth it at this point in the game that we're in, like at all.
Yeah. I don't know. It's also, I think GTA treads a line between being an RPG and not. Where I'd almost say it's well, it has like the potential to, but they lean away from it.
So I made a video about this a long while ago. What is it called? Let me go find it. It's probably not. I don't know if everything I said in it is exactly how I would say it now, but I kind of said that GTA. I think the video is called GTA has an identity problem. And it's the fact that it doesn't know whether it wants to be an RPG or a sandbox.
Yeah.
It's like a weird in between.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, GTA has an identity problem. It just doesn't know whether it wants to be, like a game where you just go ahead. Because like on one hand, if it was a sandbox, you can go ahead and do whatever you want. Why do I need to grind fucking 20 hours to buy a car that I want? Or the mansion?
Yeah.
That's more of an RPG or MMORPG. Big grinds like that are a staple of MMOs and RPGs. It's not a staple for sandbox. A sandbox is meant to be like easy and fun. You can go ahead and like pick whatever car you want, buy the houses you want with a minimal difficulty. But GTA doesn't have that. It has massive grinds from level 1 straight away. But then it also is this like open world where you can do it whatever you want. It's a weird in between that I don't think they've got the balance of very correct. I mean, the balance is fine if you buy shark cards, but people don't want that.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah, GTA is a weird in between. I do agree that like a natural, at least a semi-natural progression where you have to at least unlock some things in order to get somewhere else. Because if everything's immediately available, things come at different difficulty levels that also reward differently. There are some rewards that are really good. You shouldn't get that reward super early in the game, because it should be hard to get that reward.
I think
everyone would have it.
It makes sense that at the start of the game you're making money at a slower rate because you haven't got the connections or opportunities to do this faster stuff. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think slowing down and enjoying the early game, again, I love.
It's kind of a part of roleplay.
Dude, the majority of times I'm playing games, it's me starting a new game. I don't make it to the end game of things very often. A lot of my most popular GTA videos are me starting from level 1 and playing for 20 hours. The majority of my RuneScape accounts is starting again. Most of my Skyrim playthroughs never make it past 30 hours of gameplay. I love that. And GTA doesn't make the early game very enjoyable because you just do the easy thing. And you don't have much exploration. Otherwise, it's just slow and boring.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking
We'll
of
see
doing.
if GTA 6 improves it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, because you look at the GTA 5 story and you do have that system. You're not doing the end game heist at level 1. You're playing as Franklin. You meet Michael because of a job you do for Simeon, and then you eventually meet Lester through Michael, and then you do a heist with him. The story mode has it down like very good. It's just the online variant of the game doesn't have that same system in place, which, you know, it's up to you whether you want that or not. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of doing like a video series which could maybe solve this issue for me, where I play GTA in chronological order. It's like I start a new account and I don't let myself play anything from 2014 until I've completed all the content that was released in 2013, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
That could be a fun way to engage with the game. And obviously if you play GTA 5 from day one, you do have that experience. It's more so for new players that come in that don't get that same thing.
Yeah, that's true. But as a game right now, I mean, I've done a lot of the later heists, like the Doomsday, like the Diamond Casino, like Cayo Perico. I haven't even done all of the original heists. I think I've done the prison break and that's it.
Yep.
And then whatever that starting one that takes you like an hour.
The Fleece job.
Yeah, the Fleece job. Like I've done that and I've done the prison break. I haven't done the rest of them. I don't remember what they're called.
It goes Fleece job, prison break, Humane Labs raid, Series A funding, and Pacific Standard job.
I haven't done that. I haven't done the last 3 of them.
I hadn't done them until I started doing YouTube.
Yeah, like
because there's
once
no
Doomsday
need
comes
to.
out, once Diamond Casino, once Cayo comes out, it's like I don't have a reason to do any of these. And as a new player, I should have reason to play old content.
Yeah.
It's like if a DLC came out and you were like, oh, the original game sucks now. I only want to play the DLC.
No, that's not how it works at all.
Really?
Yeah, you look at Elden Ring, you look at Skyrim, you look at ESO. Does Fallout have DLCs?
Witcher.
Probably does. Witcher. You play the base game, and then you play the DLC. You don't just play the DLC.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes you do, but usually that's if you've already played the base game.
A lot of times the DLC is locked at like a certain level. Like I know I want to say Skyrim, it's locked at like not a high level, but like maybe 10 or 15.
I think Dawn Guard you can do from base, and then I think the other one is like level 20. Yeah, Dragon Ball like level 20.
It's like 15 or 20. It's like the instant you hit that level and you enter a city,
there's a fight.
Courier will find you and be like, I have a level. Yeah, there's a fight. You see a fight and then you get a quest marker.
You get a letter from Mirak saying, I know you're Dragonborn or some shit. And then like Elden Ring, you have to kill Moog in his palace. You can technically go there from level 1. It's just going to be really fucking difficult.
Yeah.
But you have to kill him to get access to the DLC. There's a bunch of other examples. GTA Online's DLCs just do not have that. Like they have it in the smallest sense of, oh, you have to buy this business before you do the heist.
Like you need money.
Yeah.
But
That's about it.
But also, you can just buy shark cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
GTA just lets you pay to win if you really want to. Not that you're winning.
It's not even pay to win. It's pay to enjoy.
It's pay to play.
Yeah. Because like you're not winning by buying a mansion.
You're not at the top of any leaderboards. You're not winning a competition. Like you're not doing anything. You're
literally just buying shark cards, so you have to play the game less. And that's not like a compliment on the game.
You're spending more money to put less time into it. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing. So yeah.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is important for an RPG? If we're wrong on anything, we're not. So just remember that.
We're not. Yeah. We're actually we should be hired by game companies because we have all the solutions.
Yeah. I have been told I would make a better GTA than Rockstar.
I bet you single-handedly could.
For sure. Yeah. I know some code.
Sure, yeah.
I can say hello world.
I've made a game before. Yeah.
I've made at the start of a game before.
I've made a weird little VR game before that was not that good.
VR? Damn. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're signing off. Leave stuff in the comments, opinions, thoughts, what Dan got wrong, if Dan got something right.
If?
I mean, the things he got right.
There you go.
It's a little slip of the tongue there.
All right.
But have a good one, everyone.
See ya.